All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 178. Bears center retires, plus the 2026 NFL Draft NFC North Division team player targets. Lots to get to. Obviously, we should have Dre coming soon as well. You can find me NFLOutdated on Twitter X, on Instagram, on YouTube, and find us on Freezin 4 Pod on TikTok. Once again, we have Miles. We're talking about drafts, so you definitely have to include you. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
Hey, good evening, man. I appreciate you having me back, Andy. Always love hanging out with you guys. You guys can find me on the Pack Weekly Pod on Monday nights, 9:30, streaming live, 9:30 p.m. That is, streaming live, talking Pack. Right now, we're in the heat of draft season, so we're breaking down all the prospects and going through each position, each episode, and digging deep, man. But that is on the Packers Talk Network YouTube channel. Jump on over there and hit that subscribe button for us.
I tell you what, even though I disagree with your team choice, I agree with your draft coverage. Always great stuff. Always dig it in and always good to hear that. That stuff I absolutely will retweet. That's
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
I got to learn about all the players that the Packers are going to miss out on the first round, which is great. I'm excited for. And another thing that is great as well is Seventh Letter. Always glad to have you. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
Seventh Letter 4 on Twitter X, same OG on Instagram, Facebook. Pleasure to be with you guys.
Absolutely. And you were rocking the old school Sixers Allen Iverson jersey.
Yes, sir. One of my favorite players ever.
Tell you what, he
6'6". You're lucky.
The iconic step over.
Yeah. He was tough, man. Tough.
That was a different game, man. Different day.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of a different game, obviously, lots to get to with the news within the NFC North. We'll just start with it. Obviously, a bombshell for the Bears. Their center, 27-year-old center, Drew Dalman, a Pro Bowl center, decides to retire abruptly after 1 year with the team. Obviously, as you see on Twitter, everyone that is not a Bears fan is having a field day with that. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to you. What were your thoughts, Miles, on the Bears center, Drew Dalman, retiring?
I mean, it's hard not to have a little fun with it, man. You know, guy just spends 1 year with the Bears, and all of a sudden he's got to rethink his life. So, it's like, dang, I don't know what's going on down there. You guys are about to move to Indiana. You got this guy retiring at 27. There's just all sorts of things going on out there, man. I don't know what to make of it, but I mean, after you have fun with it, it is one, you got to respect the guy's decision, and anytime a guy is going to prioritize his life over a game like that, good for him. He's made good money already, played a game that most people don't get to play at the professional level. And, he probably checked his boxes and is ready to move on. I noticed he's from Stanford. So, he might have had Andrew Luck in his ear, like, hey man, it might be time to step out of there. Let's go do something else. So, look, for Bears fans, that's unfortunate, man. It really is, because you guys already had a little bit of an uphill battle with the salary cap, and now that's a crucial position that you've got to replace.
It is, and listening to Chicago radio, obviously, hearing a lot of different things, and obviously, good dude, good player, and so obviously you wish him the best. Obviously there's questions about what he's going to have to pay back as far as his signing bonus and all that, and how much he'll count against the cap now. So obviously that'll help the Bears out a little bit. Obviously he was a Pro Bowl center. He, one of the best in the game. But here in Chicago radio as well, like looking at tape, he did miss. His tape was not perfect. We'll just say that. So there were some things, they could have cleaned up, but obviously he is one of the best centers in the game. All right. So, you're right. It's going to be, tough to replace that. Now, kind of looking at it, there are some issues. Obviously, you said with the cap, And before we get to those, seventh letter, obviously I was telling you offline, I heard from a lot of Lions fans saying that, obviously the Bears window has closed now that their center retired. And I had to remind them what happened to them last year.
Oh, yeah. The window's not closed. Now, are you better for it? No, but the window's not closed. Caleb got better. It's you guys got a little bit of, you've been in big games before, you won a playoff game, so more experience now. So no, the window's not closed, but you aren't a better team with that loss. No, you are not better.
I agree. Yeah, he obviously, the line was huge in the Bears turnaround. Obviously, Caleb Williams, relied on him. And the center, the previous year, we found out how badly needed the center was, and which in the Vikings game in 2024 was just atrocious. So center is an important position. So obviously.
I know. Shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that might have been part of the reason the Lions fell off, right?
Without a doubt, 121%. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Without Braddow and Zeitler, we are not the same at all. At all. Horrible. Don't remind me.
So talking about some Bears replacements, and obviously here's kind of a list that I did find as well. So Tyler Linderbaum, my Iowa guy, we talk about, obviously, Drew Dalman is one of the best centers in the game. There are not many centers better than him. Tyler Linderbaum is there. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of money. So there's going to have to be some creative things financially. First of all, what are your thoughts on the Bears getting Tyler Linderbaum, or even the Packers? Are they looking for a center as well?
Yeah, I would say the Packers are in the market for a center. They would say that they're in the market for more alignment, and I think this is something that I'm a little tired of right now, is their insistence on versatility on the O-line, and this continuing idea like, hey, let's take a left tackle and move him to center. It's like, that's cool. Like, when you find a guy that can do that, makes a great backup, right? Great utility guy. I don't want that to be how we find every interior lineman. I'm really sick of that. So I'm rooting for them to find someone. I don't think they're going to go out and go after Linderbaum as much as I would like that. He's an excellent center, top of the market right now. I just don't see them throwing the resources that they would need to acquire him. There's a few names. You got McGovern on there. I think Biotish is one that when he came on the market, he immediately got my attention as a good fit, not just because he's a former Wisconsin guy, but he's in that window of preference for Goots criteria. He's kind of in his mid to late 20s. Is his best football in front of him? I think you could say yes to that. It may not be necessarily, but I think it could be. And he's a strong center, man. He's not the best in the league, but he had some good years in Dallas. Yeah, he's got the injury.
Wait,
you got to figure that out. Yep.
You're talking about Tyler Biotish here, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm glad you bring that up, because I've already had Packer fans saying that Biotish was a turnstile at center, and I'm like, come on, like, obviously, the Bears were considering him. He's already been in for a visit with the Bears, so the Bears are considering him. He wouldn't be one of the top options if he was a complete turnstile. Obviously, I think he would be a downgrade from Dalman, absolutely, but a solid option here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up the center rankings on PFF. So Biotish, he's at 12 for last season. Dalman's at 7, and you got Linderbaum at 4. So that kind of sets the frame there. And if Packer fans want to talk some smack about him being a turnstile, let's go down and find out where their starting center was. We got Jenkins down here at 22, and we got Sean Ryan down here at 30. And I'll be the first to say I wasn't complaining about them. Like, they weren't obviously the top of the league, but I didn't think that they were the biggest liability on the team or on the offensive line even. I think really, if you're gonna call him a turnstile, like bring some objective data to the table on this. PFF is not the end all be all. It's not perfect. It's definitely got some flaws, but it at least gives you like an objective measure to work with and decide kind of who's where. So yeah, I mean, that said, like Dalman, 7th center in the league, you lose him. That's a big loss, man.
It's huge.
But
that's why I'd say you were talking about like in-house options, and I heard it suggested Ryan Bates. That's an in-house, for the Bears. I don't want that. It's just patchwork, and I don't want them to spend less at one of the most important positions. Obviously, in keeping Caleb upright. That is number one goal, keeping Caleb upright, keeping him safe, that's huge.
Well, and taking care of the football. I mean, not only are you critical in pass pro, but you got to get the QB the ball, and that's not just a given, right? Like a guy that can get it there when he's supposed to and how he's supposed to is you gotta hit the right criteria there. And I noticed you got a couple names in there from the draft, Jake Slaughter. And the other one, I'm not even going to try.
I know, I saw that too. Yeah,
I have had my eye on Jake Slaughter. I do think he's going to be a solid center in the NFL. The other one, I believe, is a kid from K-State. His name is escaping me, but I know as soon as I see it, I'll remember it.
See, I mean, you bring up. That's the thing. You bring up, drafting players, and obviously. Like in and be like, this is going to be my guy and help Caleb, because you want obviously the center to especially with this team when they expect expectations to just kind of like come in day one and not have to develop.
Well, and we've seen it before. Like the center QB relationship is important. The QB has to trust the center. Peyton Manning famously with Jeff Saturday. Like there's that's an important relationship. So yeah, I think it's Caleb Williams being young still and still trying to develop his game. You need consistency from that position for him for sure, because if you plug somebody in there that isn't consistent or is in some way a liability, whether it's pass pro or otherwise, that's going to make Caleb's life a lot harder. It really is. And this early in his development, you don't want that, man. Like it's one thing if he's 5-6 years in and he's pretty comfortable with the system and he's at that point where he's teaching other guys now. Okay, he can probably compensate for mistakes there, but that's not where he's at right now. So you definitely don't want issues rocking the boat from the center position.
Well, I was at seventh letter. I mean, obviously the Lions are probably in the market for a center as well.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna pay him $20 million though. So
it's a lot of money, man.
That is a lot of money.
Receivers asking for 30.
So many people see the importance of O-line, and how far you can go in the playoffs with just that, that the front, that offensive line together. Like everybody in the playoffs pretty much had a good O-line, So like everybody sees its importance again. You can turn the game into a passing game. You can do whatever you want, but if you can control those trenches and have a consistent running game, picking up 4 to 5 a carry, you can go pretty far. You can beat anybody in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? No matter how quick they're able to score, none of that stuff. If you're able to consistently control that clock, it's almost automatic. You know what I mean? Especially in November and December and January. After Thanksgiving, the best O-line start winning. That's when you see the teams start to get hot. The ones that got the O-line, the running game they start to lean on that a little more. Like you see the Bears. I attribute the Bears' success to them stop trying to throw the ball all those times and running that rock. You know what I'm saying? When they started running the ball, that's when you started winning. It's a correlation. Just a very, very, very easy correlation between when y'all started handing that ball off 30 times, you started winning.
I absolutely agree. And I would say it's money well spent, for that center position, that line position, money well spent. right now, obviously the Bears don't have to pay their quarterback yet, but it's coming up, obviously with Caleb. So that might be the option. Might be obviously a tough option with paying Tyler Linderbaum all that money, but obviously, these teams are creative in how they can massage the cap, we'll say.
Yeah.
There's no cap.
It's all fake.
It's all.
It is.
It literally is, yo. It's so embarrassing. Like it's not a real thing. It's no such thing as a cap. It's no way in the world the Rams can just have a McDuffie today.
Like, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up too. So obviously, we're kind of a Bears-centric podcast tonight, and the Max Crosby news. Obviously, the Bears are in the mix, supposedly, from reports, and maybe even the favorite to land Max Crosby. Although, there are teams that are, emerging, and supposedly, the Rams are in on it too. So I kind of went back and forth on Twitter with some people. Obviously, they're in the F them picks mode. So they've got their the Rams have their first this year and next year, right? So right. I've had some Lions fans and Packer fans say, well, hey, the Rams, they're all in. Stafford last year, maybe McVay's last year. So they're going to trade this year's pick, next year's pick. And then I'm going to ask, okay, well, the Raiders want a player. Which player are they going to go for? Now, I did have someone say that they would trade their Pro Bowl defensive end, 26-year-old. His name is escaping me right now. Let me pull it up.
You talking about the Bears?
No. So the Rams that they would trade Braden Fisk maybe and the 2 picks. So I'm just kind of trying to obviously there's a lot of division.
I would agree with that.
A lot of division teams that don't want Max Crosby to the Bears, correct?
No.
I mean, I don't want it, but like I'll see your Max Crosby and raise you Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about Max Crosby. I think honestly, I'd rather you go ahead, give up your resources. Like that's
okay.
The way I'd see it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be my argument against Max Crosby. Obviously, number one, we have to put money towards a center. We don't have a safety on the roster right now. Linebackers. So there are a lot of there's positions of need. It's a luxury right now to get Max Crosby. I love the picks and continuing to build via draft because maybe there's going to be a safety, and we'll talk about that kind of coming up at 25 where the Bears are at. So, so there's a lot of, to me, a drawback to giving those picks up, and because you want to continue to build your roster, and so if they do give up, I was thinking to me, first round and maybe a third round, but supposedly there was a team that offered a first and a third round pick, and they were laughed at. Supposedly the Cowboys have offered 2 first round picks, but they don't want to give up a player. So, so there's a lot of things that go in here, but I do have to call you out, Miles. You're not worried at all by Max Crosby?
I mean, we've played against Max Crosby. He hasn't been that much of a factor when the Packers played against him. I mean, he's a game wrecker. I'm not going to just say he's a nobody.
Okay.
But I think the Bears have more problems. And if you go off and you get Max Crosby, then it's going to be at the expense of something else. So
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Expose yourself somewhere else. And I think the Drew Dalman news is what really changes that.
I agree.
You need to fix that hole on your O-line. And again, you already had some other salary cap things to address. So if there is somebody to go get, like, I disagree with the Bears needing to go get a pass rusher. I just don't think Max Crosby's the solution. And he is older too than like a Micah Parsons. He's like what, 29, I think, something like that. He's pretty close to 30. So yeah, I don't know. That's another one of like, is his best football in front of him? It could be, but it's not necessarily, So I guess, not being worried is a little bit hyperbolic, but at the same time, like I'm looking at the Bears and how y'all are running things, and just like, I know that'll be at the expense of something else. So go ahead and pull that trigger. I don't know though, man, like the compensation that's on the table, I don't think y'all can outbid like the Cowboys. Like they've got a 12th overall pick that they can sling at this thing.
Yeah.
So it's when you come down to that, and again, I don't know that you want to win that battle. Like if
they get him at it like cheaper than what they can get him on his current contract. They don't have to, they got him and Quentin Williams. You know what I'm saying? They immediately become better. Is it true that the Giants traded for Warner?
For who?
For Warner from the 49ers.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
Whoa, no way.
I saw some bullshit. I don't know.
No way.
Why they be having them? Because I don't go on Twitter. Because Twitter be lying. That's why.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. There's definitely a lot of fake. Yeah, Twitter.
That's not true. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Here's somebody. Fred Warner is not getting traded. Stop with the fake stuff.
All right.
Dang, that would be something for the 49ers to agree to let him go, man. That's their heart and soul.
And especially I think where the Giants are at, the Giants, I think the Giants are ascending, but I don't think they're that mode. Obviously, if you do this deal, if the Bears do this deal, obviously they think that it's all in. We're going for the Super Bowl. I mean, that has to be.
Yeah, that's the signal for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Packers did it with Micah. They thought, hey, we're going for the Super Bowl. And thankfully it didn't happen. But, within the division, I did see a funny meme, though, that if the Bears were to get Max Crosby, that, JJ's in trouble. I mean, JJ's already in trouble, but.
JJ who?
McCarthy, yeah. You got Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, and Micah Parsons.
And
not a great offensive line.
Defense. They had the best defense in our division.
But they need an offense.
They're in salary cap hell now. They're having to cut bait all over the place. So I don't know where the Vikings are going to land, man.
That Greenard, man, that's good money.
Yeah.
Off that Greenard, man, he aggravating. Get him the fuck out of here, please.
Well, let's talk about that. Obviously, there's next Monday. On Monday is the free agency. All that stuff's gonna. So next week we'll probably have a lot more, news on that. But we did have some player movement as well within the division already. So Seven's letter. David Montgomery looked at the Lions. And he said, "I want out of here," and so he was traded. And then Graham Glasgow was cut. So what are your thoughts on the Monty trade and Graham Glasgow being cut?
You know what? I always like Montgomery a lot, but I felt the same way about Jamal Williams. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way. So, James Conner got cut this week too. So,
really cut? Wow.
Released. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, whatever, if that happens, we able to get him. That's a pretty good replacement. Maybe even cheaper. So. It's
where was Connor at?
Arizona. That's what our office.
Okay. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
So we got.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
We got ways to to replace him. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to get, but we do need there's some type of thunder and lightning situation going on. I love Jahmyr Gibbs, but I do think we use him too much, and injury, running back position, one of the most violent positions. In the NFL, and they don't last very long. And he's a guy that, he lives off speed right now. And I don't want to shorten his career, you know what I'm saying? Father Time is undefeated, and injuries just derail everything. You're different after certain, especially some type of leg injury. I don't want it. And the way he runs so violently. He's not a scary runner. He runs hard to be that small. So he can't keep on doing that. He can't keep
Lions' current backup running back is Sion Vaki, one carry for 4 yards out of Utah. So
I like but you know how you like your little, your guys. Like he plays special teams, he's good, but he always hurt.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Best ability is availability.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So if he start getting more carries, he's gonna likely get hurt. He was hurt all last year. He's only been on the Lions 2 years. Yes, last year was his second year. I don't know. I'm gonna miss David Montgomery, but you know what? He can go somewhere. He's good enough to be a number one somewhere. He showed what he got. You know what I'm saying? Last year. I don't know if the O-line is any better than ours though.
Houston.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, the Houston backfield becomes one of the better ones in the league as well.
It's okay. I still got Merriman, man.
I'm totally fine seeing Montgomery leave, man. He's a good back, and he's one of those that he had a way of just like getting those yards when you could least afford to give them up.
Look at this, the Houston Texans running back room right now. Woody Marks came on obviously at the end of the year. Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, and David Montgomery. That is a running. Obviously, Chubb isn't what he was, and we'll see. I don't know if they're going to cut him but I mean,
hey man, they the AFC. I don't care nothing about what's going on.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't care nothing about what's going on over there. Have fun, David Montgomery.
Have fun.
I hope you are able to get all the yards you think you deserve to have. You know what I'm saying? It's like I always said, like David Montgomery's 8-yard run is a 20-yard run for me. His 25-yard runs is to the house. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And that offensive line we had last year, you saw what happened when he was in the game. It wasn't the same. It just wasn't. Once he get into the second level and it's him against linebackers and safeties coming downhill, he was great. Mm-hmm. And he's a great pass catching power back. Like great. Mm-hmm. I love David Montgomery, but you know what I mean? Like if you don't want to be here, I don't need that. Yeah. I'm not good enough for that yet. Philadelphia good enough to handle that. And you even saw that kind of, mess up everything. So like I don't have that. The culture on my team, everybody got to work together, and there's no selfishness. I'm not gonna say that he's selfish because honestly, I feel like a football player, especially at that position, you got until you're about 30. Yeah. But he's at 27 now. Mm-hmm. Get your money, go somewhere and be effective. And AJ Brown, same thing for him. Like he he'd go somewhere with a quarterback. If he was to end up on the Rams, he'd have 1,700 yards easily. Easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can understand him wanting to, like, especially if you're not winning. So when you're not winning and you're sacrificing, that's different. You know what I'm saying? When you're winning and you getting your little 1,100, 1,200 yards, when you are easily a 1,500-yard receiver, I can tolerate that. But when you ain't winning, he showed a little self. I saw it in his face last year. It reminded me of Calvin Johnson's face when he was losing. Like, oh, he's going. He's going. I can see it now. Only one that kept that chin high when we was losing was Matthew Stafford. I give it to him, yeah. I'm happy he stood up for himself and finally got himself traded and everything. But he used to stand in there, we get our ass whooped, and his chin up high. He's still flinging that bitch.
Well, speaking of not winning, let's go ahead and talk about the Packers player movement.
Shots fired, man.
Always. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of moves that are going to become. Obviously, Malik Wilson's probably going to get paid. I don't know if he's going to be worth it. We'll see. Obviously, Emmanuel Wilson, I believe he's a free agent. Chris Brooks signed, right? So
yep. He just signed an agreement today.
Obviously, we'll see kind of what happens, with the offense. But good old Quay Walker has scrubbed the Packers from his social media. So it obviously some player families have said that his exit interview basically alluded to this. So what are your thoughts on Quay Walker exiting? Stage right or left?
I mean, it is what it is. He was a good linebacker. I was very excited about his upside, and it just felt like maybe that didn't really materialize. I know the coaches really thought highly of him. I know Halfley thought highly of him. He probably has a good shot to end up down in Miami with Duggan running the defense down there under Halfley. But yeah, it just is what it is. He was never like, the warmest Packer player ever anyway. You rarely heard from the guy. His rookie season, he had kind of a temper and he worked through that. Appreciate his service. And at this point, the way that they've addressed the linebacker position up to now, like I trust that they're going to backfill and find somebody else. And, you got Cooper in there. He's the guy that I don't want to lose. He's Quay was athletic. I think that was his biggest contribution. I'll never forget him keeping Justin Fields out of the end zone in his rookie season. And because I just remember thinking, like, man, the Packers haven't had an athletic linebacker that could keep a guy like Justin Fields out of the end zone in a long time. So, or if ever. So, there was some highs. I enjoyed, watching Quay a little bit. I'm not like heartbroken about it. It's interesting, and I think maybe a little bit of a caution to anybody else who's looking at Quay going, we should have him. This time last year, Goot's tune was, we love Quay Walker and we want to get him locked up long term. So that went south fast, man. I don't know, if that was because of how the organization treated him or vice versa. I don't know. You just don't get a whole lot of information from that player ever. So it is what it is. Appreciate your service, Quay, and there's some pretty good linebackers in this draft, so we'll see.
Yeah, and obviously, draft stuff's going to be coming up as well. So I want to talk about that in a second. Also wanted to talk about the potential top free agent get for the Packers. The chatter is that they are all in on Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey.
I mean, like that, doesn't it?
I mean, if Brandon Aubrey is the number one free agent get for the Packers, I mean, Packer fans aren't going to be happy, are they?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's good.
Hell yeah, brother.
He's good, yeah, but you got to do more than just a kicker, right?
I'm gonna tell you this, man.
Hey, wait.
We would have been in 2014. We would have been 13-3 if we had a kicker. Kickers are so very important, yo. Absolutely very important. Like just having Bates in 24. Like, so he won games for us all by himself. All by himself, the kicker. That is
he did
important. He's a weapon.
He is. Absolutely. Yeah,
he's a weapon. That's different.
All right.
Like, that's not a kicker. That's a weapon.
Andy, I know you watched the Packers-Bears game.
I did. I did. Quite intently.
McManus was 0 for 2 on field goals and 3 for 4 on extra points, which means if we had Brandon Aubrey, the tables be turned right now, sir. Like, we would not be talking about what y'all did to the Packers. We'd be talking about what the Packers did to you.
He's a weapon.
He's a weapon. So if that's your biggest get for the Packers in free agency, you're fixing a problem.
Yes.
You absolutely know I'm going to light the Packer fans up if that is their
that's fine.
Prize free agent acquisition.
You just better beat them when you see him.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I'm enjoying this now that the Bears currently own the Packers, and I love it. Obviously, now that you're here, Miles, talking about Green Bay Packer Bears stuff. I mean, it's still going on Twitter, and it still will go on. What I love about the banter is I think the Green Bay Packers are only fans that continue to go further and further back to try to prove their point of how good they are in the present. It's absolutely astonishing. But hey, I give credit to Packer fans for continuing the bit. It's a bit, right? Like, come on. Like, right now, no one cares about wins in the 90s, the 60s. Packer fans, just stop it.
You would if they were yours. If they were your wins, you would, sir.
Oh,
if you had 13 championships, you would be talking about every last one of them.
I rarely bring up 1985 unless Packer fans are the ones that bring it up. I only bring up 85 if Lions fans get cute or Vikings fans get cute. All right, just stop it. All right, but I rarely talk about 1985. I talk about Caleb in the now. And that's why, like, yeah, obviously I get it. There's a storied history there, but I don't know. I mean, no one wants to come to Green Bay. Come on. Come on.
Stop. Yeah, they do. No, I wouldn't say no one wants to come to Green Bay. That's too far. But you know what? I'll meet you where you're at. We'll let history be where it is, because we all know what the history is. It's very clear and written in on trophies, lots of them. Like Vince Lombardi's name on the big one. But what we were just talking about, the Bears win 31-27, and the Packers kicker is responsible for missing 7 points. So if we sign Brandon Aubrey, that's the difference. There you go. That is the difference in that the most recent meeting, right? Like if we want to talk about like the most recent, when you're a 4-point difference in that game, and your kicker is responsible for leaving 7 points on the field, and then you go off and get the best kicker in the league, well, problem solved, right? So now who has the upper hand? Do you still, as the Bears, do you still feel like you have the upper hand?
I mean, Cairo Santos, I mean, he can kick a knuckleball in the wind. So in Chicago, I'll take Cairo Santos. Although, I mean, maybe he ends up being cut. Hopefully not, because yeah, you're right. I do agree that the kicker is important, but as you know, I have to do my trolling.
And you're very good at that. I give you your props on that as much as I can. But no, so what I will say though is I love that the rivalry's hot, man. I do. I love that there's a lot of the meaningful trash talk. I love that, if we're going to talk about right now, the here and now, not bring up all the past Super Bowls that we've won that y'all haven't. It's splitting hairs, man. It's pretty close. It's a fun little argument when we're talking about, well, if we get the best kicker in the league, now all of a sudden that's enough to get us, kind of that upper hand again based on the last meeting. This is good. I want to beat the Bears every time, but I want y'all to keep it interesting, man. I don't like if we just go like we did from what was it, like 2010 to 2025 with that kind of streak and that level of imbalance, it gets boring. You start to wonder, is this a rivalry? Is this even, what are we doing?
Well, that's why I enjoy it now, because yeah, it was, I mean, seventh letter, how frustrated I was. You do as well, Miles, after those Packer losses. So I have to enjoy it now.
Of course.
It's really in my DNA.
Of course.
All right. So there's going to be some chatter about some draft stuff. Seventh letter. I mean, the Lions have a lot of needs, right?
Yes.
What what do you see as the biggest need? We talked about this a little bit last week as well. They need a backup QB for sure.
Oh no, we definitely need a backup QB. I think we should draft another one. Jared Goff has been pretty healthy, so I don't have no complaints about that until he's not. But yeah, maybe get a real backup, maybe get somebody that sucks a little bit, somebody that don't suck that bad, maybe a Tyrod Taylor or something, somebody that's serviceable if you need them, you know what I mean, or a quarterback that, maybe drafted high and hasn't been given a real opportunity, had a real quarterback coach. Somebody that needs a new spark other than Justin Fields, of course. At wide receiver, I don't know what you're talking about. Who said that? Who said that?
I said that.
Tight end, we need to draft a tight end, definitely. I agree. I totally agree with that. I do think we need to draft a tight end. Another linebacker won't help, but I need like a linebacker that. Honestly, I would like a linebacker that can kind of like rush the passer a little bit. Get one of those. Even if we get one in the first round, one of those studs, one of those athletically gifted freaks. You know what I'm saying, from Ohio State. That's probably going to be going out there. It was a lot of high RAS scores there. God damn. God damn. Interior line, like I said, I think with the return of Levi Onwuzurike and Josh Pascal, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
DJ Reader is gone. I mean, if there is a late round nose tackle or something we can grab, I'm with it. I would resign Lopez because he was our best defensive tackle last year. He's not very expensive. He played his ass off. He was one of our best players. I always go for a cornerback, maybe a cornerback that's on a deal right now that's about to end. Maybe we could trade for him, like what we did with Carlton Davis, because that was a big loss, believe it or not. That's a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback that we lost. We should draft the safety, or maybe even pick up one that's somebody that's a serviceable starter until Brian Branch comes back in November or December. I don't know about what's up with Kirby Joseph. I don't know if he's even gonna ever come back. To be honest, I hear that the knee injury is a little bit, a little bit. I need a tackle. Do I need a tackle? Who said that? Who is writing
this? is me writing this.
Tackle, I'm fine. It's center and both guards.
Yeah. All right.
One guard and one center. A center and one guard. I probably need that. What's the other one? What's the rest of this bullshit that you probably did? Put it back up, Andy. Put it back up.
I'm adjusting.
I think you just listed every position. I think that's what it came down
to. I was gonna put on. I was gonna put on coach in there too.
Yeah, right. Here we go. An edge. I prefer interior pressure. The edges are fine, but if they're not a Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons, somebody that's got that bend that really can affect the game. I already got a contract on one. The Matt Crosby thing is sexy, but I would rather have an offensive line. Honestly, I would rather invest there than another pass rush. I think we're good at pass rush. If we were able to draft a young guy we could develop, and maybe by November or December he starts clicking, you know what I'm saying? I'd appreciate that. But interior line, we might lose Anzalone, so yeah, maybe a linebacker. Always, everyone on this earth can always use a cornerback. That's about it. The best, I think we're past that best player available shit. We don't need a receiver. We don't have to do that. We don't need a quarterback. We don't have to do that. We need a running back. Yeah, I'd say we need another running back just to, Jameer can't be everything again. He's going to get hurt. I don't want that. Yeah.
All right. So, Miles, help Seventh Letter out here. Obviously, you're our draft guru here.
I missed you last week. I didn't even know who to look out for. Who's this guy? Damn, he fast. I was looking at. That's all I was saying. Like, damn, he fast shit. We
will, for the purposes of our program, we will call you Miles Kuiper.
Come on, man. I can do better than Kuiper. Maybe Miles McShay.
Yeah, Miles McShay. Whatever you want to be called for the rest of the show pertaining to the draft.
Miles McShay.
Matter of fact, hold up. Before you start, Miles, I saw this guy, and matter of fact, you might know him too, Andy. What's up with what's his name? Caden Wajin.
Caden Weechin. Oh, yes, all time.
I'll let the Iowa guy go first, but I do have something to say about his Shrine Bowl performance.
Yeah, all-time leading kick returner in Iowa history, which he passed Tim Dwight on touchdowns. Tim Dwight, obviously.
The great white kick returner. Oh yeah, I like
Tim Dwight play. Yeah. He returned one in the Super Bowl, then was traded.
Yeah.
And a fun story as well. My brother in high school tackled him. And
He did?
He did. And
Where
another
football?
high school
All right,
football.
Let's talk about Tim Dwight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're talking about Tim Dwight. And obviously it's about me too. So another connection to Tim Dwight. I went to Iowa when he was there, and I saw him out at the bars with two women on his arms. And I said, "Hey, my brother tackled you once." And he just kind of like scoffed and walked away. So yeah, so that's my Tim Dwight story.
Tim Dwight, right? That's what we saying.
No, Tim Dwight, one of the best Iowa Hawkeyes. And for Caden Weegett, like he is just he's a wizard back there as far as returning kicks, which he may reinvent kind of what it is, because obviously now it's changed from what Devin Hester did and all that. So Weegett, he's a solid player. I don't know where you're gonna. I mean, you could probably do some gadget things with him. What are your thoughts on him, Miles?
His vision is like, that's what it is. That's the X factor for him. He's a good athlete. He's not a great athlete. He's obviously not a big guy. You look at his receiving stats at Iowa, you're like, wait, why is this guy even in front of me right now? This is insignificant. And then you look at his return stats, your jaw hits the floor. Wait, what? And so I actually did get a chance. So in the Shrine Bowl game, he took one of the kickoffs, and I stood directly behind him in the end zone just to watch. What is
Love
it?
that.
And he damn near broke that thing, man. He took it side to side and found a seam, and he was one tackle away from taking it all the way. His vision is elite. And it won't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You watch it on the film, just like, how is this guy doing this? And it's just, he's got elite vision. He sees those blockers and where they're going to line up, and he knows exactly where to take it.
So something I can get in the 6th or the 7th round, you think?
Yeah. Well, the problem with him is he's a returner. You're not drafting him to be a returner receiver.
Khalif Raymond is getting cut. So
here's the thing with Weegett, because they did do some end arounds and different things with him to try to get him the ball at Iowa, and he did well with that. I mean, you get him the ball in space, he can make some things happen. But you're right, he's not that prototypical wide receiver. Even the guy that's with the Eagles now. He was a hell of a punt returner for Iowa. But obviously he's a defensive back, so he had kind of a more true position. So yeah, I mean, Weegett, he's a difference maker. What's that?
The gene you're talking about, right? He's a world-class athlete.
Yep. Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
But no, Weegett, he's a hell of a returner. And I was watching him going like, hell yeah, I'd love to have him on the Packers, but there's just no way. It's not going to happen. He's not going to make it as a receiver, and he won't make it as a DB, and they won't bring a guy that's just a returner.
Unless they try to make him into a running back or something like that, You
could maybe pull that off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a tough son of a gun, I'll say that. Like, to do what he does, man, he takes that ball and he doesn't think twice. He's not flinching.
He does not.
He goes, man. So, yeah, that actually might be a great fit for the Lions, because if you've got a spot that, where you could pencil him into the bottom of the receiver chart and use him as a return specialist, and, maybe however else you can get some special teams value out of him. He's a weapon, man. He's gonna be one of those guys that you don't want to kick to, and you will wish you had him on your team when he's returning it against you.
Yeah, we keep Tom Kennedy. Shit, why can't we use him? You know what I'm saying? Tom Kennedy
cheaper too, probably.
Yeah,
since for like 8 years on the practice squad. Every year, Tom Kennedy. Give me this guy.
Yes,
guy.
They're gonna find a home for him somewhere, obviously. Now. What about the Packers? Who are you hoping the Packers draft?
Well, it's funny because I think the three of us are talking about similar positions. There's some overlap between what we want. I'm personally, the cornerback room is one that I've got my eye on. Last year's cornerback draft class was not good. It was just like, there was just not options out there. And you look around, and there was only a couple of guys that stood out this year. The guy that got drafted by the Cardinals, and he was the one that you weren't sure of because of his injury. So the cornerback class last year was just not good. This year, it's good. This year, there's some depth, there's some value. The top of the board, I guess I'm probably glad that we're not in a position where you're in like the top 15 with a needing to draft a corner, because those top couple guys are all right. You got the kid out of LSU, but even the kid out of Tennessee, the next one,
Delane, yep.
Yeah, man, he looks great. I don't think you need to second guess him, but he'll go in the top 10, I'm sure. But then you get to the next one, McCoy out of Tennessee, and it's like he's been hurt, man. Like he's a huge question mark. And I see that he's highly coveted by scouts and the media, but I wouldn't want to roll the dice on that. Like if you're drafting that high, I would want something that's a little bit more certain. So the value that's lower in the draft, I'm talking like second to probably fifth round for corners, is going to be really good, I think.
Terry, I'm about to go to jail, so I need a cornerback.
Hey, but you got to respect it, man. He took matters in his own hands. That was great.
Terry Arnold?
Yeah, just dumb shit.
That was dumb, but I admire his gumption, man. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna mess with me? All right, I got it. I'm gonna mess with you too."
Call the police. They ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tennessee, they had Jermod McCoy. They have also got Colton Hood, Avian Terrell out of Clemson, Malik Muhammad, Texas, Keith Abney out of Arizona State. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of these are second or third round picks. So obviously they may be in there in the mix for the Packers once they draft.
Well, and the Packers are very specific with their cornerback criteria. So guys like a guy like a D'Angelo Pons from Indiana, who has all the production, tested fine, really well. I shouldn't say fine. He tested really well at the combine. He's 5'9". Like he's just like the Packers aren't going to draft a 5'9" corner. I think he's like 165 pounds or something.
Yeah.
He's a small dude. He's great player. I mean, when you watch him, and you don't know his measurables, he's a fantastic player, but he's a guy that like he's just not going to be on their radar. But yeah, I mean, you can go pretty far down the list. Even, you got guys like a Keontae Scott from Miami. You got Chris Johnson is a really popular mock draft for the Packers out of San Diego State. He's the stereotypical 6 foot 190. Had a really good year this year, graded well, tested well. I mean, he's a solid pick, and Dane Brugler's got him down in 56. That's a second round guy that you're looking at. And, you got Igbinosun from Ohio State. He's in the second round projections. Dalen Everett from Georgia tested really well. He's in like that second, maybe even third round. You can go pretty deep and still find really good value in that cornerback class. I'm very interested in Tre'Davious Stukes from Arizona. He's a hell of an athlete. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this cornerback class, and you can go pretty deep in it. But yeah, so all of us, I think, will be happy about that. I want to see 2 of these guys get drafted by the Packers, at least 2 of them.
Yeah, they're gonna need it. All right, say that. What was the question?
How many picks y'all got?
Oh, that's a good question. Because we got a few compensatory picks. Hang on a second. I'll pull.
We talked about that last week. How the Bears should have a compensatory pick.
Why the fuck why everybody else get compensatory picks? I don't never get one.
I don't understand that either.
All right, hang on.
Last year, they've got a total. The Packers have a total of 8 picks, including compensatory in the 7th round. So that their first is the second round at number 52 overall. So we got 52, 84, 120. Yeah. So I mean, they got a decent amount of picks, but they're all. I mean, you're gonna have to hit some home runs late in the draft,
which we have. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, the Packers have done that. They
just not in the first round. Yeah, that's fair.
It's fair criticism, totally fair criticism. But we're talking about compensatory picks. Rasheed Walker is a free agent. We got him as a 7th round pick, and now we could get a 3rd round pick next year, a compensatory pick for him. So you're talking about you drafted a dude in the 7th round, and you got 4 quality years of him starting at left tackle, and then he's going to walk, and you're going to get a 3rd to 4th round pick for him.
See, that's why
brilliant.
The whole Bears stuff and not getting compensation for Ian Cunningham. I mean, those third round picks, we talked about that last week. I mean, seventh round picks can be important, but third round picks are huge. So you're right. Seventh letter, I don't know why our teams don't get the love here.
It has to do with the way and timing of it all. I still haven't gotten totally clear on it, but basically the contract runs out. I believe the way it is you don't get a compensatory pick for a guy you cut or release. It's that their contract ran out and you didn't resign them. And then they have to sign with another team, and they have to sign the pick is determined by the amount of money that they sign for and the amount of plays they play. So next year the Packers actually stand to potentially get a lot of compensatory picks with Malik Willis, Rasheed Walker, Romeo Doubs. Those three could net you 3 third-round picks.
So what you're telling me, Miles, is the Packers are rebuilding.
No, no, I'm telling you, the Packers are always focused on return on investment.
Those are some big losses, but I mean,
if you're handed 3 additional third-round picks next season for that, that's serious compensation, man.
What? Yeah. That's startup.
Yeah.
And that's trade up material. If I've got 4 third-round picks, I believe you can't trade your compensatory picks, or there's something around that. So, but if I've got that and I've got I've got 4, I can package one of them and I can trade up. So there's a lot there. And then, there's 4, the Quay Walker, he could net you a 4th round pick, I think is what it is his potential as far as the market that he's got. So there's a lot there that the Packers stand to gain with the compensatory thing. But yeah, it's interesting though, because it can be kind of an afterthought, but if you do it right, it's like, damn, man, that's a lot to gain.
I tell you, obviously, I give the Packers fans a hard time, but I do feel like they've done a lot of things right, within the free agency, or, not free agency, but just within the draft. They've drafted well later on in the draft and continue to stay relevant and stay up there. So we did talk about offline a little bit, obviously, how the Bears need a safety. So I wanted to kind of go there. So obviously there's some solid safeties in the draft. If the Bears do not trade for Max Crosby and they stay at 25, safety could be where they go in this pick. Tell us a little bit about the safeties in this draft.
Well, there's the very obvious Caleb Downs at the top of the class, just a ridiculous athlete. There's the rumors about him potentially having a degenerative ACL, which I believe is the same thing. And his name is escaping me, but the corner from Michigan that got drafted by Arizona last year was the same thing. And he ended up having a pretty good rookie season. But I also have heard that those rumors have been shut down, that there was some mild medical concerns that arose, and then others kind of shut that down. So I don't imagine Caleb Downs is going to be within the Bears' reach, but a hell of a leader in the class here. Dylan Thieneman is the next one from Oregon. Now he's at 15 on Brugler's overall big board. I think he's kind of been all over the place as far as projections go. I've seen some projections have him in the middle of the second round. Others have him in the middle of the first.
This one, even when I'm looking at him, at third round pick, possibly.
Yeah. So he's been all over the board as far as projections go, but I think he's a hell of a safety, man. If you go watch some of his film in Oregon, he had a really great season. He tested really well at the combine. He's a great athlete. He looks a lot like Cooper DeJean, not just because he's white. It's just that's what comes out to you. They're very similar, very aggressive type guys, good zone coverage. But yeah, so that's one that kind of depending on where he is, that would be a great get for the Bears.
Well, I'm looking here at he's strong in Dylan Thieneman, right? That he's strong in zone coverage, and obviously the Bears have a defensive coordinator that could definitely use that if he's strong in zone coverage and has versatility. I think that's what the Bears would be looking for.
It'd be a great get for them at 25 if he's there. I would not like that. I'll say that I would not like that as a Packers fan. But another one that looks like he could be there, Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. He looks like a hell of a player. And we're sitting here talking about Cooper DeJean. He looks a lot like the kid that the Eagles drafted out of Toledo. Now again, his name is escaping me too. It's like new draft class, so I completely forget previous draft class names.
And Williams?
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes, Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah.
Very, very similar vibes from those two guys. So Toledo's got a DB machine out there, because even the corners from Toledo that are in this class, they look pretty solid, and there'll be some later round value. But yeah, the Bears very well could go safety at 25. There could be some great options there for them. Even after that, there's a little bit of a drop off. You got Halsey, Ramsey, Wheatley.
I've heard good things about Halsey. From Bears radio. He's a big hitter. So I would not be opposed to getting him at some point either. So big kid, 222 also.
Be a little bit of a reach at 25. So I don't know where your next pick is, but to me, those top three are in a different class than the rest. Right now, another one, Bud Clark out of TCU he seems to be rising up a lot of boards. Apparently he had some really good interviews at the combine. He also tested well. So that's one to keep an eye on, maybe in like the 3rd round, 4th round. But yeah, if you need a safety, this is a good time to need that.
Speaking of that, like, who is the kid that had stuttering issues? There was a kid that had stuttering issues, and he kind of, basically in all the interviews, people kind of evidently, gave him negative remarks, and then he put out a statement then, basically, saying that he's had a stutter his entire life, and so it's kind of, this is an interesting draft as far as, you have some top players, like even a Jeremiah Love, right? Like I believe he's deaf, correct? Is that the right player?
What?
Maybe not.
There was running back from Notre Dame?
I thought he was. There was something.
No way.
All right, don't quote me on that, but I thought I saw a story on ESPN how there was a running back who was, and you just kind of look at the different things that let me see.
Yeah, I mean, the combine is notorious for those interviews getting a little under the skin, man. I believe it was KC Conception that had
that is correct.
So yeah, I mean, good for him for putting it out there, but I also think that those interviews are designed to see if they can fluster guys, and they're going to pick on you however they can.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I actually wanted to amend what I said, because I did see a story on this, but Jeremiah Love actually was diagnosed with autism as a kid, so that's what it was. Sorry.
Interesting. Okay.
And actually, that helped kind of focus on football. What were you going to say? 7th letter.
I got Jamison Williams already. I don't need no more autism on my phone.
There you go. There you have it, folks. Only one on the TISM per team, like that. That's a good limit. I see.
He's somebody that's a little special on your team, because I'm good. I'm sorry. I got my son is my stepson is autistic.
Mine is yep.
So I live with it every day, but I don't want to.
Yep.
I don't want to.
Hey, I firmly believe that autism is a superpower if you learn how to use it, man.
It is. Speaking of superpower, coming in here, Trev loves your 76ers jersey there, 7th letter.
Thank you, Trev. I told Andy I wore it because I've been at the gym and my arms look big today. So.
Hey, there we go.
That's why I'm covering up my arms, because they are not.
Let's go.
Thank you, Trev.
So a lot, I mean, obviously you talk, draft stuff, quite a while. Obviously, always enjoy your thoughts on that, Miles, and much more to come, on that in the coming weeks. Obviously, next week there's going to be, some decisions on free agency, and obviously, I think you kind of need to know the free agents to really, specifically kind of where you think your teams are going to go as far as players.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I thought Dre was going to be here, but he was not. And so there's a lot of things with the Vikings that we can talk about as well. Cause like, they're going to probably pick up some type of free agent quarterback, and whoever they pick up is going to tell us what they think about JJ McCarthy.
Wow. I'll try to go get Kyler, but they can get him cheap. That's the thing. Cause they still owe him like $32 million, the Cardinals. So
I think I heard, through the grapevine that they're not really in on Kyler Murray.
I don't think nobody should be. That's just my opinion.
He's got something going on there. You got the whole like forcing the guy to watch film in his contract.
Yeah, I am good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
good.
Yeah. Tell you, I love him for Minnesota though. Give
bring him on in, man. Let's see what he can do.
I don't want him with that coach. That coach gonna figure something out for that little bum.
Yeah. Then what if the Vikings go with Richardson? I don't know if that's a smart thing either, because you don't want two quarterbacks that are a project. Obviously, JJ McCarthy is a project, and Richardson. I mean, obviously, you got to bring in. I think a veteran. I think Richardson in the right system, could do some good things, but like if you're bringing in Richardson, then you got to trade JJ McCarthy.
You know who Richardson is?
He's like 24 or something.
He's old. Yeah.
Richardson is Justin Fields, man.
He is. Yeah.
I did see some Packer fans wanting to sign Justin Fields as a backup, and that would be absolutely amazing.
Oh, I'll take that all day.
You'll take Justin Fields?
Yes. Give me Justin Fields. Give me a coach that knows how to coach a quarterback and develop a quarterback to get his hands on Justin Fields. Absolutely.
Although,
and Andy, you'll remember this. I was not a Justin Fields hater. I was not.
That is true. Yep.
I remember watching him at Ohio State and saying, I hope he doesn't go to the Bears. Like, I remember it vividly. And even when he was with the Bears, I thought he was a hell of a leader. I thought he had the intangibles, and I thought he just had a circus around him and a bunch of dopes trying to coach him. And then, of course, he goes off to the Jets, like the only place that could get worse.
Yeah, I felt bad. Yo, my boy fell asleep at the draft. I
said, Do you know one thing that Justin Fields is not, though?
What's that?
He's not a closer. He's not a closer, and neither is LaFleur. So neither one of them are closers. So
well, I can't fight that. I have that total grievance absolutely right now. So yeah, fair enough. But no, I'd love to see if they could give Justin Fields the old Malik Willis treatment and turn him around. I mean, Malik Willis, when they traded a 7th round pick for him, he was not thought of as the way he is now. They thought that he was pretty much a lost cause. And here we go. He's the top of the list for your quarterbacks in free agency this year. My question is for the Vikings, like if you're going to go out and get a veteran, like Malik Willis at the top, Aaron Rodgers is going back to Pitt, Daniel Jones is going to figure out a way to stay in Indy. The next one comes up is Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota, Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, who are you pairing? Who are you pairing McCarthy with to stabilize him? That's the problem. I don't think any of those offer stability.
And Kirk Cousins want to get paid with his booty ass again. Come on, yo. Get out of here. You done robbed all these teams, you bum.
The greatest comeback story of all time. The greatest comeback story of all time if Kirk Cousins was going to come back to Minnesota and lead them to their first Super Bowl championship.
Poor Shelby, yo. Poor Shelby. He gonna play. So he gonna give Justin Jefferson gonna have all them catches and touchdowns and shit, and she gonna feel like they back all for him to be a bum it all. Oh, I feel so bad for that girl, yo. She be really hurt on Sundays. Like,
she does.
Like, I feel it. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate lots of great stuff tonight and lots of great stuff to come. Appreciate everyone tuning in. You can find me on NFL Outdated on Twitter X, on YouTube, on Instagram, and find us on Freezin #4 pod on TikTok. And always, love having you on. Miles, what do we settle on? Miles Schefter?
Oh man, I can't take Schefter. He's a clown. And I won't like open up that whole file, but after what he did with Aaron Rodgers back in 2021, his days at Green Bay are over. Oh my God, get out. I will never see Schefter the same after all that garbage.
Hey, I have actually at the draft, I got Schefter to sign my football. So I got that in a case.
So is he like a cool dude to interact with?
Oh yeah, super cool. Okay. I mean, I think they live for that, right? Like for them to be the celebrities, right? That's what they live for. So
absolutely.
All right. So obviously love having you on.
How about Miles Mayock? How about that? I always respected Mayock. I thought he was pretty good.
Just not as a GM.
Not as a GM. He's awesome on NFL Network.
Like, when he's talking about the draft and all that, like I like him. I do. He was on NFL Network back in the day. Before he
Mayock was the best one to listen to, man.
Yeah,
all right, Miles Mayock. Where can everyone find you, sir?
You guys can find me on the Pack Weekly Pod on the Packers Talk Network YouTube channel. Check us out. Subscribe. This Monday night, 9:30 p.m. We're streaming live talking about quarterbacks and running backs in this year's draft class. So if you got a quarterback or a running back need, come hang out and see what we got to say. We're going to dive in pretty deep. We're going to go all the way down the list on these prospects in this class. So buckle up.
Tell you what, there's an interesting one from Baylor as well. The connection. I was actually going to bring him up, but we'll definitely talk about quarterbacks and stuff coming up. So, the good old Pirate coach from Texas Tech and Washington State. That's his last quarterback.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that.
He was a backup. And the name is escaping me at the moment.
Robert Sawyer.
Sawyer Robertson. Yep. There's a nice story on the 4-Letter Network on about that, just so everyone is aware. So lots of great stuff there. So obviously definitely going to, pay attention to all your stuff on that as well. So I appreciate you coming on as well. So, and 7th Letter, always enjoy you coming and sharing your insights. And obviously now you are not in the catbird seat, but I'll let you have the last word here. Where can everyone find you?
I'll let you hold it for a little while. Thanks for keeping it warm and getting knocked out in the second round. Anyway, 7th Letter 4, Twitter X, same OG, Instagram, Facebook. Always good to see you, gentlemen. It's supposed to warm up this weekend. Well, at least Monday for us. Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to go outside, get some fresh air. Andy, go to the whatever you do on Saturdays, the winery or whatever. I don't know. But y'all be safe, man. It's always good to see y'all, man, for real.
Absolutely.
You too, man. You too.
Once again, it's the Freezin for NFC North Podcast. We will catch you again next Wednesday, 9:30 CST. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, y'all.
Go Pack, go.